And I tried to add Ariana. So tonight we're talking about the black girls who are going missing. And it's so upsetting. If you look at the picture that I put up, the little girl was at her home, and it looked to me to be like a a bad neighborhood. I'll pull up a picture on my phone. I don't know how to add pictures on here, but it's a little black girl, and this grown man tried to kidnap her, and she ended up biting his finger, well, biting him, and that's how she got loose. So that is a good idea. Like, you scream and you fight, and I suggest to carry a pin because you really can't carry guns everywhere. You can't carry knives everywhere over 3 inches. They have rules, different rules for different states. But you get a pin and you make sure it has a grip on it, and then you block with your weak hand and you stab him in the eye with the pen, either a pen or a pencil. So I suggest carrying something sharp and pointy in your hands so that you can stab somebody in the eye. That's one. Now I did take notes. Let me see. Okay, so yeah, your iPhone, you can click on your iPhone. Hold on, I'm gonna show you. You can click on your iPhone and you can for emergencies, you can slide for emergencies, right? The S, you can send the SOS. But I think they should also add a record feature so we can at least know who took you, what happened to you, and so forth. They need to add a record feature because the SOS has saved people like who went hiking. I heard about things like that, and it saved a girl who got kidnapped from a guy who had went to jail. What pisses me off is that a grown man, and they had some black men doing the same thing. I'm gonna show you. A grown man would steal your child, your daughter, and he might have a daughter, sister, cousin, aunt, somebody in his family. Your family isn't off limit, sir. Someone else will take that same uh how much ever you got for trying to kidnap this child. So what, $10,000 or whatever? It could be less than that. People are just grinding. But these two guys, black men, was trying to kidnap a black girl from the mall. So the first little girl I showed you, she was in a neighborhood that was like probably like a project or something like that. I'm not sure, like a low income housing area. This girl was at the mall. So I think they are targeting women who might be by themselves and little black girls. Now, the problem we having right now is they're getting rid of the immigrants in different areas like Florida. And now they realizing, hey, we need low income wage people and we need immigrants. So they're having that problem because I heard them talking about it on the radio. They was like, certain groups don't care about what happened unless it affects them. So earlier they were talking about it might be affecting uh women who get money from their men, like alimony, which I have never agreed with that anyway. You work all your life. That's why a lot of murders happen. You work all your life for your money, and this somebody can just take half. You know what I'm saying? Like, earn your own money so nobody can take. So just earn your own money. That was one. Let me get back on track. So so the iPhone gives your location, but it also needs to record. Okay. Every female should have a security camera. You should at least have a ring camera because they came to this little girl's house. They came to this little girl's house. So they did have a camera in her neighborhood. They was able to capture this guy. So the guy who tried to kidnap the little girl, they did catch him. Now they do have footage of these men, but a lot of homes that don't have cameras, you really need to invest in a camera with an iCloud and memory. And then recently, this morning, I woke up to this other girl who is missing. She is missing. They said she was on the phone with a friend of hers or somebody in her family, and she said, "Hey, there is a little child running around on the highway," and then they end up uh they couldn't hear anything after that. So obviously they use a child as a decoy, which is awful. She was already on the phone. She was being safe. She let somebody know her location and she was being safe. But they said her phone went out and nobody has heard from this girl since. So they are intentionally um holding these girls, taking these black girls. The little girl from her house, the girl from the mall, and this lady who was on the road. And they had a flyer out some years back. It was like 64,000 black women was missing, but no one was reporting anything about that. So this is crazy. And I just came to my mind about Tiffany Haddish. She was saying that she was in a religion where they try to make her, they gave her a twin bed and she was very upset about the twin bed, but they wanted her to like clean up, kind of like be a slave in a religion. And it was the Scientology religion. And they could be taking people. I don't know where they're taking these little girls to, but the problem I have is a lot of them are being trafficked. They are being raped, and it's not only the people who are taking the kids; it's the people who are buying these kids. Like, who is buying these children? Now, my thing is I was thinking about it like I don't have the solution because some countries, places like Amsterdam have the prostitution thing. But what is the solution? People get horny. They got all these sex stores and toys, and then you can play with yourself. But just to take a human being, and on these crime shows, they take the little girl, rape them once, and just kill this whole person. They acting like the person has no value at all, which is ridiculous. Yeah, so that's what another part of my notes. I said someone would take your daughter, your mother, your sister for a price. So these men running around taking these kids for a price. Somebody's gonna take your family for a price. Money, if money can buy anything. Yeah, so we really need to practice on self-defense, making sure you have, I would say go live in certain areas you don't know where you're at. Because a girl should have went live. So we would have someone would should she was on the phone with her family, but someone she should have went live so we would at least knew what happened to her. If you want to call in, the number is 615-746-7073. If you have anything to add. But this is, excuse me, ridiculous. Once again, this girl name is Carly Russell, and she was going down the road, and they said it was a little kid on the road, and she stopped to help the kid. She was on the phone with somebody in her family, and they said they got to that location and the lady is missing. So obviously the child was a decoy to get her out of her car. And the criminals know everything. I mean, if you have the heart, if you see a child, of course you're a woman, you're going to want to stop and make sure the child is okay. And she did the right thing. She called somebody, but she should have went live so we could have seen exactly who took her, exactly what happened. Because you don't disappear when you're trying to help a kid. That just does shouldn't have that just should not happen. What did I say her name was again? Carly Russell. Ooh, I think my blood pressure is going up. I'm like, I'm upset. I am upset. I feel heated. Yep. Um, it is on YouTube now. Hold on.
Want to continue to apply pressure to this thing. We don't want this to die down. We need this to blow up. So if anyone sees anything, no matter how minute, no matter how insignificant you think it is, please contact 911, contact us, and just keep us in your prayers. Absolutely. And we actually are. These people are here to help start a search party. Anaya Blanchard's mom is also on her way over here to help lead us in the search of. She has experience in it, and she's going to give us some pointers as well. But we just ask everyone to please, 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 wherever you are, if you're not in Birmingham, whatever, they could be in Georgia, we don't know, Mississippi, Tennessee, anywhere. Just please keep your eyes out and be vigilant. Absolutely, absolutely. Mr. and Mrs. Russell, just thank you so much for your time, and we're definitely all praying for you all as well.
Yeah, it's upsetting. Like this is like it's like a black girl going missing every day. They try to get this little black girl. It was a foreign guy. I don't know what nationality he is. And then there was two black guys trying to get this girl from the mall. So something is going on. It's like I feel like it's a price on our head. Like somebody got to be paying you to say, "Hey, go bring me a person, a black girl, or something." But lately, it's been a bunch of black girls.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Reporting from the Hoover Met, Jonathan Skinner, WBRC Fox 6 News on your side.
If you have something to say, you can call it at 615-746-7073.
Department. With me today is Lieutenant Daniel Lowe with Hoover Police Department. He's the Investigations Division Commander and one of our public information officers. He's going to be reading for you guys a update in the case that we sent out earlier this morning. After this is over with, we'll email you guys a copy of his remarks so that everybody has that. After he's done reading the statement, there will be a brief time for some questions and answers. And with that, I will turn it over to Lieutenant Lowe. Good afternoon. Thank you all for helping us get this story out today. I want to relay some of the facts as we know them so far and a few additional details that we've been able to uncover in this case. On July the 13th at approximately 9:34 p.m., the Hoover 911 Center received a call from a 25-year-old female on I-459 southbound near mile marker 11. She reported that she saw a toddler walking on the side of the interstate. After calling 911, the caller stopped to check on the child and also called a family member to report the same details. The family member lost contact with the caller, but the line remained open. Police officers who were already en route to the location of the initial 911 call located the female's vehicle as well as some of her belongings at the scene. They were unable to find her or a child in the area, and Hoover police had not received any additional calls of someone missing a small child. Detectives are currently investigating these incidents and are requesting the public's assistance to help locate Carly Nicole Russell. She's described as a 25-year-old black female who is 5'4", 150 to 160 pounds. She was last seen wearing a black shirt, black pants, and white Nike tennis shoes. Carly got off work last night around 8:20 p.m. from a business at the Summit in Birmingham. She's also believed to have stopped to pick up food from a business at the Colonnade before driving towards Hoover on I-459, where she stopped near mile marker 11. That location is between the Galleria flyover and exit 10 for Highway 150. A single witness has reported possibly seeing a gray vehicle with a light-complected male standing outside of Carly's vehicle, but we have no further information on that individual or the vehicle at this time.
Black man.
No piece of information is too small in this investigation. If you have any information, please contact Detective Brad Fountain at 205-444-7562 or Sergeant Drew Mims at 205-739-7274. You can also call Crime Stoppers of Metro Alabama at 205-254-7777 if you wish to remain anonymous. An anonymous donor has offered $20,000 for the safe return of Carly Russell, in addition to $5,000 offered by Crime Stoppers. Again, you can call Crime Stoppers if you wish to remain anonymous, or you can call either of the investigators whose numbers I provided. The Hoover Police Department is currently partnering with many of our local, state, and federal partners in this investigation, and we're very grateful for the outpouring of support from our local community as well as the law enforcement community. We will continue to provide periodic updates as we have them, and we utilize our Twitter account at Hoover PD to release any pertinent information to the public. We would also ask the community to keep the Russell family in your thoughts and prayers during this very difficult time. At this time, I'll take a few of your questions.
Do you believe that she was taken by someone perhaps and she pulled her car off?
We currently are investigating every possibility in this case. We're certainly leaving nothing off the table.
Is her car door locked open?
I don't know the answer to that.
And is there any mentality that this child might have been date, or if there ever was a child, so there's no missing persons cases for children?
Again, with all of those details, we're leaving nothing off the table and no stone unturned in investigating some of these facts.
Are you all getting a great deal of tips as there's regular public awareness? I know folks are handing out flyers. Are you hearing from the public on this?
Yes, we are. We've received a lot of tips, and as each of them comes in, we are assigning investigators to investigate those and see where that information leads.
You may have said this already, but what are any other agencies assisting you that you so what are they?
Yes, we've partnered with numerous local agencies, too many to name, as well as federal and state partners. Pretty much everybody that we have a great relationship with in law enforcement is involved in this investigation.
Have you had any sightings of Carly Russell?
We don't know. Again, when we get a tip, we investigate that and follow up to the best of our ability.
I know that families organize their own search. Are the police doing any organized searches?
Yes, we have a myriad of resources. Everything we have at the Hoover Police Department, in addition to those partners, is involved in this investigation right now. As you said, the family is doing some searches as well, and we're maintaining very close contact with them in that process.
Do we know if Carly had hung up or did the dispatcher hang up when you guys had got that initial call?
Carly was actually on the phone with a family member when the call was terminated. However, the phone line remained open, and we followed up from there.
But she had called 911, correct?
Yes.
So how did that 911 call in?
I'm not sure.
Is there a way we can get the 911 call?
I don't have that at this time to provide to you.
Family members said that they heard her scream before the line was left open. Have you guys heard that in your investigation so far?
The family has relayed everything that they are aware of to us, and again, we're following up with any information that we provided.
The family asked if it was possible to put out an Ashanti alert, I believe. Is that something that could have been done when you guys got the notification that she went missing?
So alerts of that nature are handled by Aaliyah, and we've provided all the facts of the case as we currently know them to them for them to review the case. And if they deem that to be appropriate, they will issue an alert.
Can you tell us who people should contact over the weekend as the search kind of continues?
Yes, I'll repeat the same numbers. The two gentlemen to my right are Detective Brad Fountain and Sergeant Drew Mims. So with our Crimes Against Persons unit, Detective Fountain's number is 205-444-7562. Sergeant Mims is 205-739-7274. And again, Crime Stoppers of Metro Alabama is 205-254-7777. And you can call any of those numbers. They have people that either give messages or can return calls very quickly.
When police arrived at the scene on Thursday night, was her car running and was her phone located there at that location?
We did locate her cell phone at the scene. We're currently analyzing that phone to see if there's any information on there that can help us. As far as the condition of the vehicle, I'm not aware.
Have you ever had a stranger abduction in the river?
I would have to check our records for that.
How common are they?
Again, each case is unique, and this case is certainly a unique instance in our city, and we're doing everything we can to solve it.
Is there a staging area that you guys would be staging for searching or anything like that?
The police department is handling all of our resources internally, and if we need additional resources, we'll reach out to our partner agencies.
Does the missing woman have any mental illness history or any physical conditions that people should be aware about?
I can't speak to that right now.
Last question. Interstate cameras matches some of the descriptions of a car. Has that matched in the area down below?
We're currently reviewing any resources like that we have available to determine if there's any useful evidence from that.
All right, thank you, guys. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
That's just one case that's getting publicity. A lot of them don't get publicity. But it's so crazy. These grown men will take somebody's child, take you, and sell you to somebody else. And then it's men who will buy you. You know what I'm saying? But it's so many missing Black women, more than this. But it's a lot going on right now.
A new bill proposed last month in the California State Senate aims to create what's called an Ebony Alert system. This is to help find missing Black women and girls. The system would be similar to the Amber Silver alerts already used in this state. This is some 30% of missing women in 2020 were Black, despite making up less than 15% of the general female population. State Senator from Los Angeles, Stephen Bradford, who serves as vice chair of the California Legislative Black Caucus, introduced the Ebony Alert legislation, and you see him there. He joins me now with more. Senator Bradford, thanks so much for your time tonight. My first question is simply, why does California need this?
I think evidence has shown that African-American young girls and women are ignored. The resources are not committed to the same level as their counterparts when they come up missing, be it young women from 12 to 25. And many times you never hear anything about that, be it in the media, and the law enforcement doesn't commit the same level of resources. So this is based on the Amber Alert, a little more broadly designed to look for young African Americans from 12 to 25 who come up missing and making sure that they come home safely just like anyone else.
Yeah, because CHP is in charge of activating the Amber Alerts. You have to meet a certain criteria for one of these alerts to, in fact, be activated. Some of the criteria include that an abduction has to have been occurred. You can be taken by someone you know, of course, a guardian. So do you have the same criteria? Here's, as we look at the guidelines for issuing an Amber Alert, would the Ebony Alert follow these same criteria?
Very much so, but a little broader. But again, a lot of times when African-American young kids are missing, they're listed as runaways. And we want to make sure that we focus the priority as the same as someone else who disappears, even when you're having individuals who are sex trafficked. These young African-American women are listed as juvenile prostitution. And as you know, anyone under 18 can't consent to, sex for pay. So they should be listed as sex traffickers, as being sex trafficked as well. So we want to make sure that the same criteria that applies to Amber Alerts are committed and dedicated to African-American young girls and women.
You have been a part of the community for a very long time. You've been a politician for a long time. Why now?
I think we have seen firsthand the number of African-American women and people of color who just no one ever sees their faces, their stories on the news. You never see. When's the last time you've driven on the freeway and you saw an Amber Alert saying there's a missing African-American young woman or girl? But we've all known about the Gabby Petitos of the world, or even the Sherry Patinas. who staged their own disappearance, and it was not only a statewide but a nationwide search for this individual. We want the same level of resources and commitment by not only the media but law enforcement to be committed to these African American young women, again from the age 12 to 25. You introduced this last month, I believe, in the state senate. Support? Are you seeing warm reception to this? Yeah, we had our first committee hearing yesterday in public safety, and it went out. I got it out of our committee without a single no vote, and now we're on to appropriations. Hopefully, we'll have the same success, and then on to the Senate floor, and on to the Assembly on the other side of the House. So I'm excited. We've got a lot of co-authors on this as well because this is critically important. We want to make sure that, again, the same level of attention and resources are dedicated to these women of color, African American women of color. All right, State Senator Stephen Bradford, he is the man behind the new legislation being proposed, the Ebony Alert, and we
more likely to go missing. 64,000 people go missing, and like, oops, but they can find anybody else that goes missing real quick. Everybody's seen something, but in our case, nobody's seen anything.
They make it very easy for us to keep.
That's ridiculous and upsetting. But they have these
brought to their case. For 2 weeks, we said she did not run away. And for 2 weeks, they kept saying she ran away. On January 12th, 2018, my 16-year-old niece, Jolie Musa, went missing.
It's Jolie.
She came home with her sister and then was getting some random text messages from somebody, we don't know who. And at that moment in time, she was like, I'll be right back. I gotta go. I'll be right back. Unfortunately for us, she never came back. When we're telling the police that there's definitely something wrong, she would never be gone like this and completely stop communication. What we then heard was, right now it looks like she left of her own free will. She's a runaway. With the use of that word, there was no further action being done on her case. For 2 weeks, we said she did not run away. And for 2 weeks, they kept saying she ran away. She had been discarded in the woods like yesterday's trash. If they had not said she was a runaway, if law enforcement had started looking for her more urgently at the time we reported her as missing, could they have found her alive?
Jolie was murdered by an ex-boyfriend who had previously assaulted her. Nabiyu Ibrahim strangled Jolie and hid her body in a park. In a statement, the Fairfax County Police Department said Jolie was initially reported missing on January 13th, and our officers
okay, so they figured out who took her. It was her ex-boyfriend. But what was this?
immediately began investigating. Ibrahim was promptly identified as a person of interest in her disappearance. Every piece of technology and resource available to our department was deployed to solve this case. Why would the police look at a young black girl and think she's more likely to be a runaway than a young white girl?
There's just a certain level of prejudice, that still kind of hangs in our culture in the United States.
Across America, the statistics on missing children show a shocking racial disparity. Only 14% of children in the US are black, but 37% of missing people under 18 are African American. Of all the kids that go missing, over 90% are runaways, according to the National Center for Missing and
The secret to a savvy room refresh.
I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so nobody's joining my live tonight, but this is a very serious problem. This girl just went missing yesterday. Trying to stop to help some kid. This other little girl last week that we have on YouTube, is probably more than that. And then these men was trying to get this little girl at the mall. So all I can say is be extremely careful. Carry something sharp, a pen or something, and go for the eyes. Get both of them if you can get them. Use one hand to block and one hand to pop them in the eye. And hit both of them if you can. But anyway, so unfortunate for these girls, for us, because it could have been anybody stopping to help this kid, and then their fate just turn around like that. Or you could be out. The little girl was out in her own yard, and this man decided to grab her. So you don't know where the monster is when he coming. They got all these little they got all these internet sites that you can pay for drugs, you can pay for sex, and I guess they ordering people, and these men have taken upon themselves to go pick up a person and deliver. If they're not just, I think that's what's going on, because I can't see everybody grabbing a girl um, in broad daylight. That's crazy. These guys were at the mall. The mall closed at 9. They grabbing these people broad daylight. It's not like they were walking the street or being hoes, or you know what I'm saying. Just doing something that would put their life in danger. The little girl was at home, so I just can't. I just can't see why these men think it's okay to start grabbing people from their house. And it's crazy too, because you can have all the weapons, and if somebody catch you off guard, it's just what it is. So please be careful. I'm like I said, it was already in the daytime, so I don't know. Mm, 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 mm. But if you can, make sure you go live if you feel uncomfortable. If it's a weird situation, it's better to go live so we'll have video, so we won't be wondering what's going on with you. If you can, pull a pin out or something to protect yourself, self defense. But anyway, let's just let's just pray for Carly. All right, thank you for watching my video.